The Sea of Thieves has had its fair share of ways for us to scuttle other pirates to the deep, dark ocean floor, and us pirates of those seas are no stranger to the strategies and ways to use these weapons to do so. In this video, I'm going to be ranking and covering the 6 weapons in the Sea of Thieves, 4 we've known and loved for years, and 2 new ones that were just recently introduced. In this video, the weapons of Sea of Thieves. The first weapon I'm going to be covering is the one we all know and love, the Cutless. This weapon has 2 different attacks, one attack being the swing attack that does 25 damage per hit, and the other being a lunge attack that does 50 damage, but it can also double as a little movement ability. The Cutless is also the only Sea of Thieves weapon that has the ability to block attacks. This weapon is equally versed in PvP and PvE, and is an insanely good weapon in my opinion, and if wielded by the right swordsman, can be one of the scariest weapons on the Sea of Thieves. Now onto the double barrel pistol. This pistol is the only gun in the game to have 2 different firing modes, the first one being a single shot mode that does around 40 damage per shot, and the second mode being a charged double fire mode that shoots 2 bullets at once and does around 90 damage per shot. This pistol has 6 bullets, which is 1 more bullet than the other guns in the game have, and it's my current favorite weapon in the game, and in my opinion can be the most devastating one, possibly in the future even overtaking the Blunderbus and being the most deadly weapon in the game. Next is the aforementioned Blunderbus, the deadliest weapon in all the Sea of Thieves. This weapon works different from all the other guns as it shoots a scatter shot of 10 pellets that do 10 damage each, and can deliver the most devastating one-shot kill if all pellets hit your enemy. This weapon is good in PvE and is insanely better in PvP. This weapon is so good in fact that I cannot stop dying to it. Rare, can we please nerf this weapon or take it out of the game? I'm tired of every time I try to board an enemy ship that they're sitting there with a blunderbuss waiting at the ladder for me to climb up, one-shot kill me, send me to the ferry of the damned, back to my ship to sink. But I digress. All jokes aside, the Blunderbus is objectively the best weapon in Sea of Thieves with that devastating one-shot kill, and I recommend using it for anyone who is new to the game or hasn't used the Blunderbus yet. For our 4th weapon, we have the throwing knife, the only weapon in the game that can be used as a melee weapon and a projectile weapon. This weapon is also the only weapon in the game to have 3 different attacks. First attack being a fast light stab that does around 15 damage per hit. The second attack being a slower heavy stab that does 70 damage per hit. And the final attack being a knife throw that does around 60 damage per hit. The throwing knife is easily the most versatile weapon in Sea of Thieves, and it has the most techniques to make it an amazing weapon in combat. The throwing knife isn't a great pick for PvE for most players, but it is the exact opposite in PvP, as it is amazing when it's paired with the Cutless, and I often find myself enjoying using it during fights. Now onto the Eye of Reach, aka the Sniper. The Eye of Reach is easily outclassed by the other weapons on its own, but it is the best weapon to pair with another gun, and is the only far-range weapon in Sea of Thieves. It does 70 damage per shot and does not do increased damage for headshots. The Eye of Reach isn't used much for PvE as it is outclassed by the Cutless and the Blunderbuss, but it is currently and has been one of the reigning champs of PvP encounters. Now our last and final weapon, the Flintlock. The Flintlock does 50 damage per shot and at some point in time used to be my favorite weapon, but it's now unfortunately outclassed in both of the fields of PvE and PvP. But that's not to say that the gun is completely useless, because there are still players that are plenty better than me still using the Flintlock to win against other pirates. Now onto my opinionated rankings of the weapons by themselves. This is purely based on opinions and what I like the most. For my top 3 weapons, I have the Cutless, Blunderbuss, and double barrel pistol with a score of 5 out of 5. Now just under that is the throwing knife with a score of 4 out of 5. And then finally last is the Flintlock and Sniper with a score of 3 out of 5. Feel free to type how you would rank them down in the comments below. But anyways, if you did enjoy this video, I recommend hitting that subscribe button. It helps the channel out a ton. And if you are interested, I also stream Sea of Thieves live on Twitch. My Twitch handle is the exact same as my YouTube username, so you can go look it up on Twitch, or it'll also be linked down in the description below. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.